Hello and welcome again to Courier Broadcast. We're here today with Tony Beam, who is the Director of the Office of Public Policy for the South Carolina Baptist Convention. He's also an administrator with North Greenville University. Tony and I have been friends for many, many years, and I've watched his career and his impact on the social issues and his influence toward godliness as it relates to the South Carolina Baptist Convention and our state legislature. So, Tony, let's just say welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Glad to see you, brother.
It's my pleasure. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. And we plan to make this a regular feature while the legislature is in session.
I appreciate that because there's a lot going on, particularly this year in the legislature. With the wave election we had in South Carolina in November, we added 3 conservative senators, and all of the conservative senators kept their seats. We also added House members, so we're actually getting legislation moving that's been bottled up for some time.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, let me ask you right off the bat. Now, we had a big moral victory, I think,
we did,
with passing of the heartbeat bill.
Right.
The day after that, Planned Parenthood filed a lawsuit, and then I don't know if it's called a restraining order or injunction right, to stop it. Right. So can you just kind of walk us through that and help us explain what's going on, and if the strategy, the end run, is for this to eventually come before the Supreme Court?
Right. Well, it's very interesting. I was actually standing behind Attorney General Alan Wilson on signing day when the governor was coming in to sign the bill, which was last week. And he got a text message while we were waiting on the governor to come and sign the bill that already Planned Parenthood had filed a lawsuit and the bill had not been signed into law yet. So that's how determined Planned Parenthood is to stop beating hearts in South Carolina. I think it's important to note that. But the heartbeat bill is historic in the sense that it's the most sweeping, comprehensive pro-life bill that's ever passed in South Carolina history. It actually started about 6 years ago as an idea. It came to fruition in the pre-COVID legislature. It was passed by the House, then by the Senate. Well, it got into the Senate, and they were debating it when debate was cut by COVID restrictions, when everything shut down. So we had the election in November. We were 3 shorts vote of cloture, that is the ability to stop debate on a bill. And in November, we picked up those 3 votes. And so when the Senate came out in January, this was S1, meaning it was their first priority. And in 6 weeks, we went from 6 years to 18 months to 6 weeks. You want to talk about elections having consequences? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good example of how that works. It was passed in the Senate, passed in the House, signed by the governor, and of course enjoined by Planned Parenthood. We will fight that. It will go up through the 4th Circuit Court of Appeals, hopefully all the way to the Supreme Court. Somebody's going to get there. Some bill is going to make it. And we hope that this is the one that does.
Because there's several states now that have, and several more that are pending. Their legislatures are passing heartbeat bills.
That's correct. There are now 12 states. South Carolina, I think, was the 11th state, and don't hold me, I can't remember. There was another state that came in about the same time. So there are 12 states that have a heartbeat bill that protects life as soon as a beating heart is detected.
Okay. Was it Arkansas? Was that the state?
I believe it was. Yeah, Arkansas.
The other thing that I thought maybe you could share with us and share with our listeners, our viewers, mm-hmm. that the Save Our Women's Sports Act.
Right.
Can you enlighten us on that? Tell us what's going on with that?
Right. It's H 3374 is the bill number in the House. It is a bill that would prevent males from competing against females in South Carolina in sports and college or high school athletics. And of course, it's very much needed now because of executive orders that were signed by President Biden shortly after he took office, and also because the Equality Act is now working its way through the United States House of Representatives, which would essentially codify on the federal level the idea of males being able to compete against females if they are transgender, if they claim to be female. And we want to protect women's sports. You know, we passed Title IX years ago to advance and protect women's sports and to give equal opportunity with men's sports. And now, by allowing men who identify as women to compete, it will undermine eventually and really cause a lot of pain for women's sports, already has. There have been women who have lost records and opportunities, scholarship opportunities, because they're losing to men who are physiologically stronger, and that can't be changed by a decision that you make to switch genders.
Mm-hmm. And I think to kind of wrap up something around this is the Bible's pretty clear.
Yes.
That in the beginning God made them male and female.
That's correct.
And if we're going to be biblical Christians, our convictions have to get out in the marketplace of ideas. We've got to stand on principle. We've got to stand on truth.
Right. And that is very important, that we do make not only a logical, reasonable, scientific argument, but that we stand on the truth of God's Word and we make that argument as well. One other thing I would say is there's also the question of privacy, because obviously males in female locker rooms, female bathrooms, wherever else they would have access, if we're not able to protect them with this bill. It amazes me that the Supreme Court in 1973 in Roe versus Wade found a constitutional right to privacy, a woman's right to privacy, in the Constitution in order to put forth Roe versus Wade and to make it the law of the land. Well, where is that woman's right to privacy when it comes to males being in intimate space in a public setting?
Yeah. Well, Tony, regarding this Save Our Women's Sports, is there anything that the Baptists in particular, but that Christians all over South Carolina can do to help to see that this thing is passed?
Absolutely. I appreciate you asking that, because obviously always as citizens we need to make our voice heard. So if you could contact your House member, particularly right now, give them a call, send them an email, send them a text, however you can contact them. That would be very helpful. Let them know that you want to see this bill passed. They need to hear that there's a lot of support in South Carolina for this bill. If you don't know who your House member is, go to scstatehouse.gov and you can look up your House member. One half of the screen says Senate, the other says House. Select House and then your member off from the left over there, and put in your address, and they'll tell you who your House member is and how to contact them. If you could do that, that would be great.
Well, look, I want to thank you for coming by today, sharing with us.
Yeah.
Keep us updated. Next month, we'll sit down, do it again, find out what's going on with the South Carolina legislature, and glad that you're in that spot.
Thanks. Look forward to it.